Welcome to the Paul Farrington Show. Instant reaction to the Bears' 36-10 win over the Carolina Panthers. If you had any doubts whether or not the Panthers would return to playing really crappy football, well, Chicago pushed that point home today. And Caleb Williams, it's been up and down, mostly down through his first few starts to his NFL career. But today was the first time, I think, since that first preseason reaction we had, Ziggy, where Chicago Bears fans could sit back and go, all right, we may have something here. Caleb goes 20 for 29, 304 yards. Yes, a Bears quarterback threw for over 300 yards. Or you could just say a Bears quarterback threw for over 200 yards. And 2 touchdowns, only sacked 1 time. The dancing around, all the theatrics that come along with Caleb Williams looked good today. And somehow, some way, the Bears find themselves here at 3-2, right in the thick of things in the NFC, playing their best football game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this was the game of all the pieces we got from the Panthers took care of business for us. Obviously, Caleb Williams is the headliner, but DJ Moore, 5 receptions, 105 yards, 2 big touchdowns. Torrey Taylor, decent punting performance. Tyreek Stevenson, a couple big pass breakups. Darnell Wright, as you said, he was the right tackle for an offensive line that finally looked like they were starting to fit things together.
I'm sorry, was Torrey Taylor was the third name out of your mouth. The Bears punter was the third name out of your mouth.
I like special teams. All right. What do you want from me? And they still got a 2025 second round pick from the Panthers from that trade. All I'm saying is everybody stepped up for the Bears. And if you were looking for a performance that gave you reason to believe in this team, that some of the progress you were seeing, because remember last week we said this Caleb Williams is taking steps forward. He's making progress and he's showing that he has the potential to live up to his draft stock. This was the game where finally it wasn't just potential. It wasn't just improvement. This will go down as one of the best quarterback performances of the week.
Yeah, no, Caleb kind of broke out today. And then that's a huge sigh of relief because all these Bears fans have been watching Jaden Daniels. And we're going to talk about the Commanders during the full episode here. We just want a Bears reaction. But I'm sure it's been a little frustrating watching Jaden Daniels do what he is doing down in Washington. And Caleb has been struggling. I mean, he's lost them some games this year. And today was the first time where Bears fans were watching, saying, "Okay, this is what we signed up for." And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, while Caleb Williams is the headliner, it is about the other pieces as well. DeAndre Swift, someone you brought in who has kind of flown under the radar, had a big day on the ground and a big day. I mean, he had 120 roughly all-purpose yards today and a touchdown. Like in the screen game, he's been really effective for Caleb to utilize. And the defense, that was one of the calling cards of the offseason, was Chicago came on so strong at the end of last year. If they could carry that over into this season and the offense, could eventually get into a groove, that's when you were talking about the team people thought could be a wild card threat. And I know Carolina's not that great, but we've seen their offense have some success over the past few weeks, and they were completely shut down today. Bears defense was flying.
What have you seen from the Bears basically this whole season? What you've seen is a defense that plays well, generates a bunch of turnovers. And if you just look at those stats, you say this game should be a blowout, right? They're getting 2 or 3 turnovers almost every game. They're holding some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, like CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford, to under 20 points. And the offense isn't doing enough to get it done. You're relying on defensive touchdowns. Finally, right after the defense does their job, I believe they generated 2 fumbles and an interception this game. It's a blowout like it's supposed to be. When you're getting 3 turnovers, the offense needs to be able to take advantage of that. And putting up 36 points, going up to 3-2. Like if this is the Bears team we're seeing, right? Despite the rough start, they were 500 coming into this game. At 3-2, there's only one team in the division that can have a better record than them after this week. It's the Vikings. We don't know how the Packers will do yet. We don't know how the Lions will do. But the Bears have managed to keep the start of their season alive. And as much as you can say the Panthers are a bad team, whatever, it's hard to win in the NFL by 26 points. This Panthers team was hot coming into this game. And the Bears got it done. They beat it by more than the Bengals did.
Yeah, sort of. The Bengals I thought had their way. But no, Chicago's scheduled the next 4 games they have. They have Jacksonville, a bye, Washington, Arizona, New England. That's 4 very winnable games. And that Washington one that a lot of us probably didn't have circled as a fun matchup, even though it was the top 2 picks from the draft. Like that all of a sudden feels like if the Bears beat Jacksonville, they're 4-2. That's a must watch in week, what would that be? 6, 7, 8, right around there. week 7. So I think Chicago has a real good opportunity to be sitting at roughly like 7-2, 6-3, going into their tough stretch where all of a sudden they got Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle, Green Bay, all the division matchups. If you're sitting there in that position going into your division games, you have a shot at the division, not just the wild card. So I think this is a great sign for them. Get the kinks out right now. You survived a few of the really bad performances from Caleb. Let them get going against these weaker teams, and then hopefully you're at full strength by the time you get going with the really big games. It was DJ Moore. DJ Moore was awesome today. I think that was another bright spot.
No, there's no doubt. And I bet people are going to, DJ Moore looked a little bit frustrated last week.
All season.
I think people are going to be a lot happier after this game because you could just see. I mean, it was night and day. Caleb Williams had complete command of the offense, right? Shane Waldron was putting him in a lot of empty sets, saying, hey, Caleb, we got 4 or 5 receivers out there. It's your job to call the play, navigate the offense, and make things work. And he was making good decisions. He was accurate. He didn't have, we saw in some of the early games, he just wasn't ready for NFL timing, right? He was way overthrowing or way underthrowing guys because he didn't know where they'd be. This was totally different. Caleb Williams knew exactly what was coming, and he carved up the Panthers.
Yeah, no, it was a great performance all around. And as a Viking fan, I feel like it's fair to give what the opponent is thinking. I'm not ready to say I'm nervous about Chicago just yet. But I'm monitoring it. That's where I'd stand. I'm not super freaked out by them. I'm not. Caleb Williams, I still think is going to get much, much better as the season goes on. But they're on my radar, which is not what I would have said just a few weeks ago.
Why couldn't we have him scheduled in September? We don't see. Here's the thing, right? It's October 6th today. Our first game against him is November 24th.
Yeah,
so then, there's a whole. If Caleb Williams keeps improving like this, maybe I will start to feel nervous.
Yeah. No, it's the later in the year you play Chicago, in all likelihood, will be the worst for you. So those will be fun. The NFC North games towards the end of the year, there's a lot of them stacked up. It's going to be a tight race. It looks like 4 very good teams. Maybe I'd say 3 very good teams, and the Bears are coming on. So there you go, 36-10. Instant reaction to the Bears game. We'll have a lot more reactions coming later today around 7 o'clock, right when the 4 o'clock games end. We'll be breaking down all the big ones. Cincinnati and Baltimore go to overtime. The Texans are the crazy comeback or crazy last-second drive to thwart the Bills' comeback efforts. The Vikings go to 5-0 in London. We'll be talking about all of that, the Packers, Rams, and we'll see you then.